Hello everybody, welcome to my podcast. Thought forms are what I'm going to talk about today, and this word means how we think. They're little bubbles of our thoughts that we hold in our aura, and they're very powerful. So how we think is very powerful. How we feel is of course powerful, but how we think has a different kind of power, and I want to ask you to be mindful of what you think, because what you think can often change the vibration of the aura, but also change your life. We have thought forms that are placed in there by our own thoughts, how we think about things. These can be quite negative. I'm not good enough, I'm too fat, I'm lazy, I won't be able to do it. And we can have these thought forms floating, and they float like little clouds all through the aura, around and around. Sometimes I see them circling around someone's head, like lots of them, little clouds. Some of them are a little bit grey and black because they're negative thoughts. So we can have positive thoughts and we can have negative thoughts. We can also get our thought forms from other people, what they thought we were like or what reflection they give us. So when we're children, for example, if we're told that we're slow or we're stupid, we'll have that belief system. We will think, oh, okay, so I'm stupid. And we will actually own that. Even though it wasn't our idea, we will own it. And if you live with very manipulative people or people who are good at gaslighting you, they will tell you things that you eventually now start to believe as your own thought. Once you question it, you'll probably often see it's not true, but they're little thought forms in your aura. These thought forms can create an energetic weight. And by that I mean, if we've got a lot of positive thought forms about ourselves, that will actually give us a lot of positivity in our aura, particularly in the mental aspects of our aura. However, if we have a lot of negative thought forms, the same is going to happen, and there will be a lower vibrational energy in our aura. If we have fears about getting sick, or fears about getting an illness, fears about losing our job, fears about losing our partner, and these fears are thoughts, anxious thoughts that we have, they will actually lodge in our aura. And in some ways, we can manifest it because it's what we think will happen, so we manifest that it happens. This doesn't always work this way. Sometimes karmically or because of the sacred contract or fate, we won't be able to do certain things or have certain things this life. It's fated. However, we can also block a lot of our moving forward if we don't think particularly that we deserve it or good enough or can have it. Start to check how you think. Quite often it's an unconscious way we think now because we are so used to it that we don't feel like we're very good at this or very good at that. And listen to what you say. That's a big clue for you. Listen to what you say. Even your little jokes about yourself. I'll do that quite often, make a little joke about myself, but it's actually reflective probably of how I actually feel on the inside, what I really think about where I'm at or what I'm doing. It's important because these thought forms can manifest into illness or sickness as well if we think negatively. Often people who have these negative thought forms end up getting ill. They can't find an organic reason for it, but it's just the way they think and their slant on life. But having the thought forms is also powerful because you know now that your little bubbles are going around in your aura and you can change them. That's the most wonderful thing, you can change and replace them. That's why people use affirmations. They use affirmations because what they're doing is retraining the thought. Because it's habitual to think. If you were told, for example, when you live with someone, they kept telling you you're a terrible cook or made jokes of your cooking, and perhaps you were quite a good cook, you will actually think that you're a bad cook. And so every time you cook, you will have some apprehension. Every time you serve up, you'll be nervous because you think you're not a good cook. So it underpins a lot of the actions and the outcomes for you as well. I suggest you start listening to yourself. You can even write down some of the things that you think about yourself or some of the things you've actually been told by other people. Just because people tell you something doesn't mean it's true. Sometimes they have their own agenda. If they want to keep you in your place, they might tell you you're not able to do it, you won't be good enough, and that keeps the ceiling on you. Not always motives of people very good. Sometimes they're self-serving So write down what other people told you, particularly what your parents told you or grandparents, perhaps some teachers told you, and then work your way back to rewriting that. We can improve everything we do. We just have to do more work on it. And some things we won't be perhaps as naturally talented, but I think you'll find most people who are talented spent hundreds of hours to get to that place. It wasn't magic. Even in my situation, I took years and years and years to learn how to read and do the healing and write the books. I've been doing this for decades. So it's not like I woke up one day and I had it all at my fingertips. There's a lot of hard work behind and many, many hundreds and hundreds of hours behind what appears to be someone's very good at something. When you begin this work on the main ones, and as you change those thought forms, then you'll find there'll be more lightness in your aura, because a positive thought form, positive about yourself and also about other people, will be more positive in your aura. So it raises your vibration, and that's what we're trying to get, a high vibration. At the same time, release the other negative thought forms. So let it go. Let go of that you're not a good cook, or your dad said you're fat, or your mum said that you'll never be able to do it, or you'll never be no good at that, and why are you trying that? You just let go of all those things. The ones you have made for yourself, but also those ones that people have embedded in your aura. Remember, when we're young, we're like a sponge, and we're looking for our identity. What people tell us, we don't know any different. We just believe that. So in my family, my mum told my sister that she was the one who got the looks, and I was the one who got the personality. So I didn't think it was very kind, but that stuck with me, And then when I got married, it was really quite a shock when my husband told me that he actually thought I was very nice looking and much nicer looking than my sister, because I had a different thought form because of what she said to me. I also had my father telling me that I was fat. And then when I look back on the photos when I was young, I wasn't fat at all. It was his perception. It was his going through his stupid filter. But all those years I thought I was fat when I was young, when I wasn't fat at all. Go back and have a look. You'll find it really interesting. Some of the, I won't use the word lies, but some of the things that people told us that perhaps weren't close to the truth, because they had their own issues and want to put us down. Abusers will often do this a lot. They'll tell you certain things about yourself that aren't particularly true. The work you do on this will pay dividends for you. It will also open up the gateways for you to remove some of your blocks, your thought forms, that you have in your aura that are blocking you from perhaps joining that class or going to the gym or losing weight or whatever the things are. Because these remain as things that have been said, so the belief systems that you still have got that structure in your aura, and you will hang on to that structure because that's part of your reality. But once you start taking the scaffolding down, getting rid of them and releasing them, replacing them, then it almost becomes a new you, and it's much better for your aura. The other thing I wanted to say was that you now need to be very aware of what you say to other people, particularly your family and friends, and if you have young children, because what you tell them, they can take on as a thought form and a belief system. If it's positive, then that's going to be good for them. And I suggest that you praise people, and in a genuine way, don't make up stories, but if they're good at something, you tell them. If you think they've got a gift, you tell them, because that thought form will go into their aura, particularly if you're connected with that person energetically, because it just runs across the line into them. And you can actually build up a lot of positive thought forms in them. And that will actually help to increase their positivity, but also negate them receiving more and more negative reinforcement from people. Be aware what you say to people. It's powerful. Words are powerful. They really are powerful, and people remember them. I think that we don't realise how powerful they actually are. And sometimes, even though people don't say anything to you, it goes in. You tell someone you think they're wonderful, or they're so good at that, or they've got beautiful eyes. These things will be remembered, and perhaps it's the only nice thing that was said to them in the whole week. You don't know. I always try to find good things to say about people. If someone's looking great in that dress, I'll tell them whether they're 3 years old or 93 years old. If I think they're kind and loving, I tell them. Whatever the things I tell them, because that way their thought forms coming from me will be positive in their aura. Think differently, think positively, get rid of your thought forms that are negative, and send out positive thought forms to other people. Your aura will really love you for it. So I'm sending you some positive thought forms. Thank you for listening to my channel. I don't know how many people are out there, but it's kind of fun doing this, and I'm glad that I can share what I've learned with you, and I hope it helps. Sending you lots of love and light.